Hello. Want to send out love and compassion to anybody who is experiencing suffering right now. Also, want to send out gratitude for allowing me to serve you right now in this video. Playing a song, and I appreciate your feedback. Please feel free to write or comment as you see fit, and I would be happy to respond or accommodate in any way I can. So here we are. I feel like we've kind of been through quite an experience. I know there are some places in the country that are attempting a transition from the distancing, severe distancing. This past week, talking about suffering, actually, I had a sort of a bout with a medical issue. I had this form of vertigo for about 5 days. It's not a severe medical issue. It's related to these crystals on the inside of your ear canals that help you determine balance. And sometimes they get a little out of whack and they make you feel like the world is tilting when it's not. And I've experienced it once before and did an exercise that fixed it pretty easily, but this time the exercises didn't really work. And so, it was a little bit unsettling. But now that I'm kind of on the other side of it, I wanted to just talk about a couple things that I feel like the experience sort of taught me. And one of them, of course, had a lot to do with mindfulness and being present. I feel very lucky to have been able to utilize some of the mindfulness training that I feel like I've been going through. I learned that if I could keep my head straight and I could stay pretty still, that the vertigo was not there, and that if I could move in a pretty slow and mindful manner, this cut down greatly on the dizziness. And I was able to, I feel like, do things that I might not have been able to do because I might have been freaking out about the idea and of experiencing this dizziness. So that was very helpful. One other thing, I started noticing I wasn't 100% sure what the problem was. I thought I knew, but since it was lasting longer than I had experienced before, I was starting to get a little bit stressed out about it. I did talk to a doctor, and I knew chances are it would go away, but if not, then there would be other steps. Well, what I learned to do was after the first day or two, when I would wake up and I would like put my feet over the side of the bed and try to stand up, I would catch myself right before being like, "Oh, I hope this is the day that it goes away." And when I would stand up and then I'd just feel that kind of inevitable pull or over to one side, I would be like, "Oh, it's still here." And that right there is a great little crystallized lesson in sort of how I kind of I compounded my suffering by like hoping for this in the future. And so I experimented a little bit by the third or fourth day that I was just gonna like assume that this was gonna be here, or if not, okay. But and so I would get up very slowly, and I would notice that it wouldn't, the pull and the effects would not appear to be as strong. I feel like I kind of was teaching my body how to move under these new circumstances a little bit. And so I don't think, that there was anything like mysterious about that. I think it was literally kind of just being aware of the triggers and learning how to live in that world where I could minimize them. And it really brought my entire world to a focus that, I really didn't have much time or energy to worry about much other than how to walk, to the kitchen and how to go. I went for a couple of walks. I walked pretty slow. I was outside and stuff. And, I don't know. Now that it's over, I kind of feel like there was something about that 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 I could keep with me a little bit and maybe integrate into other parts of my life, the things that matter. So, okay. I'm going to play a song called Poor School, and it just so happens this is a song about mindfulness. I didn't know it was a song about mindfulness when I wrote it, but it's about being present and living in the moment and hearing the symphony of the world around you. And it also has to do with money and how that money can help you hear things that you can't hear sometimes when you don't have money, and how sometimes when you don't have that money, you can hear things that you can't hear when you do have money, and finding that balance. This one's for the time we are all gathered in the yard, when everyone's working so much and not working too hard, and all the lights electric are just bubbles made of glass, and all the wine makes me more comfortable here on the grass, just listening to insects try to ease their troubled minds, while serenading hopeful hearts to read between the lines, and distant engines rumbling shake me to the core, that run on all the voices I don't hear when I'm not poor. Live to watch your demons peek as wishing on a star. When you see them every day, you know exactly where they are. So when and strapping on those cinder blocks of fiber optic lies. Just recall, a demon's always strongest right before he dies, and the weakest man is always weakest right before he's saved. And attention always picks the one that's not so well behaved. The holy man never more holy right before he sins. And the day you lose your shit, man, is the day it all begins. I love you, and until we meet again.